Yes, boys and girls, what is happening? I hope you're all doing well. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is a very last minute video. I'm actually recording it on the same day I'm uploading, which is something I don't usually do. But pretty much I had a bunch of other video ideas planned. I actually was editing a video before I started recording this one, but I decided it's not really a video you guys can benefit much from, and I'd rather you guys walk away from a video having gained some more value, some more knowledge. Hence why I'm now making this video instead, as I'm sure you've seen the title. But anyway, enough excuses, let's get straight into this video. So the points I'm making in this video are actually taken from a podcast I recorded with a few other small fitness YouTubers. I'll throw it on screen now. Definitely go check that out on Spotify if you haven't heard it already. It's a very, very good podcast. I think a lot of value can be taken from it, from myself and the other lads that were on it as well. So definitely go give that a listen after you watch this video if you want to hear some other perspectives about confidence as well. But anyway guys, this is a topic that's quite close to my heart. It's something that I've dealt with throughout pretty much my whole life, and it's something that I think is very, very important. I want to share the value of it to everybody. So if you like this video, obviously dropping a like would help me tremendously, push it out there to more people. And if you enjoy this type of content, obviously subscribe with notifications on, means you don't miss any of my future videos. But anyway guys, ever since I've been doing this whole YouTube thing for the last few months, so I've had a lot of messages from people kind of just asking me, how do I not care about what people think? Why am I not scared to put myself out there? And how have I got the confidence just to make these videos and not really give a fuck what people think about me and the opinion I get from others? So I think the first thing to touch on, and the first step to gaining confidence, is really just about learning and understanding that you are completely in control of how you feel, how you react and respond to everything at all times. It's always a decision. You always have control over how you feel and how you react and respond to situations. Just let that sink in for a second. A good quote from a book I read recently says, you can't always control the circumstances that come your way in life, but you can always control how you react and respond to them. And I just think that's a really powerful concept to understand. So for example, say if you get punched, obviously natural human reaction would be to punch them back to defend yourself, or to cry because you're hurt, you're upset, but you don't have to do that. That is a choice. And once you understand that, you have a choice to react to a situation, and you don't have to do the stereotypical thing of crying or punch back. You can just do nothing. That is a choice. It's always a decision on how you react to a situation. So putting this into context to what I'm doing with the whole YouTube thing, obviously I've had people come up to me and just people message me and stuff saying my videos are cringy, they're weird, I shouldn't do them, it's not normal, because obviously doing YouTube is a little bit out of the norm. Obviously, admittedly, it doesn't happen very often, but I have had the odd comment here and there, and every YouTuber gets that. It's not deep or anything, like everybody gets it, just is how it is. But I think the first big step is realising I don't have to react negatively to that. A lot of people would, because it's automatic reaction. You get a negative comment about you, therefore your brain thinks you have to negatively react back to them by bringing them down as well, calling them names or something like that. But understanding that there is a 3 to 5 second gap, there is a gap between the stimulus, which is being called something, being called a name. It obviously can relate to anything in life, doesn't have to be YouTube. Like say, for example, I used to get called a few names like lanky and that when I was back in school, because admittedly I was very lanky, I was very tall and skinny. So understand there's a gap between the stimulus and your response. If you can intervene in the middle before your brain makes the automatic decision, goes into autopilot mode to say a negative comment back or cry or run away or whatever the circumstance is, you have the choice. You always have the choice to how you react. What people don't understand is you are literally in full control of your emotions at all time. Like for example, a very negative event could happen in your life. You could lose someone, you could lose a pet, you could something bad could happen to you. And obviously, yes, those are very bad things and they're awful when they happen, but you can still choose how you react to the situation. It's up to you. You can either look at the really bad side of it, or you can look at the good side of something. It really is that half glass full, half glass empty mentality. You don't have to take the bad situation out of something. It's always a choice. So something else that came to my attention recently, and it's actually something that Mo Samuel speaks about on a podcast. If you don't listen to his podcasts, they're actually really good. Definitely recommend listening to them. But it's the fact that people only judge you for what you're doing because they themselves would feel judged if they did what you did. So just let that one sink in as well. I've said that I've got a lot in this video already, I know, but just really think about what I'm saying. So say if you do something completely out of the ordinary, like for me it might be walking down the middle of a busy street, holding my camera vlogging, because obviously not many people do that. People look at me, they judge me because it's not something that normally would happen. Not many people just do that, walk down a busy high street or in the shop or anything with a heavy, big DSLR camera out, recording themselves. It's very out of the norm. But what you got to realise is people are only judging you, not because they care, but they're judging you because if they did that, they would feel judged. So once you understand that and realise that no one actually cares, they're only judging you because they would feel uncomfortable in that situation. Once you understand the mentality, that is a very, very powerful tool to have. Also, what you've got to realise is we are literally hardwired to spot differences, to spot things that aren't normal. A lot of the time it's not necessarily people judging you, people just automatically recognise differences that they don't normally see. The human brain just picks up on it because it's used to seeing the same thing every day. So often if people are judging you, don't let that affect you, because that's often not their fault. They're just automatically doing it, because we all do it. You know, if you see something that's out of the ordinary, you do stare, you look at someone, you think about it, you might judge them. It's just what we do. It's human. It's sometimes we just can't control that. Obviously you can have some control over that if you choose to, if you think about it, but most of the time it's an automatic response. People don't actually give a shit. They're just judging you because it's what the human brain is meant to do. All right, so now let's actually talk about how to gain confidence. And once you understand that first concept of literally not giving a fuck because no one really cares and people only judge you because they would feel judged themselves doing what you do, the next thing is to actually gain confidence. How can you physically work on improving your confidence? And the answer to that is fear, using fear as a tool. Now, fear is something that obviously our automatic body human reaction is to shy away from. We don't want to do things that scare us because the body and the mind wants to protect us, because obviously the mind thinks we're in danger, it wants to survive. And doing things that scare you, whether it's something that's really, really small, like having a cold shower, waking up early because the body doesn't like doing it because it wants adequate sleep, anything that scares you every day, the more you do it, the more you're going to push yourself out your comfort zone. You probably heard the saying a lot, do things that push out your comfort zone, don't live in your comfort zone, because how can you grow in your comfort zone? And that is definitely true. So once you understand that fear is a tool and you can use it to your advantage, it's very, very powerful. Trust me, when I first put up my first YouTube video, my transformation video, I shared it to my Instagram socials, it was a big thing for me. I was very, very scared, and I was very worried about what people would think about me, if they would judge me for making a YouTube video, because it's very out of the norm, and I'm sure a lot of people did judge me for it. But the fact that I did something like that scared me so much, it gave me such a dopamine rush, I felt so good doing it, that all of a sudden that didn't scare me anymore. And it's such a crazy concept to think about, but if you do, the more times you do something that scares you, the less scared you are of doing it. And it's so simple, but it's true. So the next time, that you do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or scares you, whether it's something really, really small like talking in front of a few people, just do it. Trust me, just do it. Don't shy away from your fears. Approach them head on and tackle them, because the more times you do them, the less fearful you'll be of that situation, the more confident you will become consequently because of it. So the last concept I want to talk about is obviously that gaining confidence is not the click of your fingers. You're not going to wake up the next morning and feel more confident. It is an evolutionary process. So let me put that into context for me. Now, back when I was in my last few years of secondary school, year 10, 11, obviously, if you guys know, I'm sure you do, we had to read books in English lessons. We had to take it in turns, going around the class to read a certain section from a book, read it out loud to the class. And I kid you not, I would pull any excuse under the sun not to read out this book, because it scared me shitless. I was so scared and worried about what people might think about me if I read from this book. And I hated it. I did anything to get out of it. But after school, once I kind of came to the realization that, I should be doing things that scare me, because that's how you gain confidence, I started doing more and more things, like whether it is waking up early because the body doesn't like to do it, whether it is getting a cold shower because it pushes you out of your comfort zone, even things like putting a story up on social media of something I've done, something I want to share with people, just doing small things like that push you out your comfort zone that you're really fearful of, makes you grow so much as a person. And understanding that all these little things accumulate over time, they build up, and all of a sudden I'm out here now making YouTube videos, really exposing myself, putting myself out there for people to see, which is something not a lot of people would do. I recorded my first live podcast with no cuts or anything in it, and I look back at that time when I was that kid in year 10, 11 reading out an English book, and I think, why the fuck was I so scared to do that? And this is why I think it's so important, if you're young, if you're still in school, sixth form, college, university, it's so important to recognise this now, because you don't want to live your whole life in fear. So if you take anything away from this video, do one small thing every day, no matter what it is, one small thing that scares you, that pushes you out of your comfort zone, that you're fearful of, one small thing, whether it is something really easy like getting up a little bit earlier than normal, even making your bed, something that you wouldn't normally do that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Do one small thing every day and it will accumulate over time and it will build up and you'll become a more confident person. At the end of the day, you don't want to be sat on your deathbed when you are much, much older and you're not able to do the things that you physically and mentally can do now. You don't want to be sat there looking back, reflecting on your life, thinking, God, I just wish that I took those opportunities. I just wish I did those things. At the end of the day, are you going to regret the things you don't do or the things you do in life? And chances are you'll probably regret the things you don't do now, because you're not making the most of this time you have now. You're not taking all the opportunities you have by the hand and really going for it. Opportunity equals growth. Change is growth. And whatever it is, whether it's a bad thing or a good thing, it is opportunity to grow as a person. And trust me, for your future self, you don't want to miss out on these opportunities because you're too scared to do them. You will thank yourself so much when you're older that you start to do things now that scare you, that push you out of your comfort zone, that you really don't want to do. But yeah, boys and girls, I don't know how long this video is going to be. Sorry if it's a bit of a longer one. Just wanted to really sit down and talk to the camera, get my main points across about confidence. If there's anything else you guys think you might want to add down in the comments below that you personally struggle with or dealt with to gain more confidence, let me know in the comments. Or if you want to talk privately, you can drop my Instagram a message. I'll leave it on screen now. Drop me a DM. I'm happy to talk to anyone about anything regarding my content, fitness, mentality, confidence, whatever it is, just let me know. But yeah, guys, you have full control over the person you want to become. You literally sculpt the person you want to be. So it's a choice at the end of the day. Everything in life is a decision. It's a choice. You choose how you want to be. You choose how you want to react. It's all down to you, and only you can make the change. So I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, dropping a like would help me tremendously. Subscribe to see more videos, and yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one.